Well, good morning everybody. Well, my name is Dr. JD Swanson. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Thought. Today what I want to do is I want to carry on with our sort of theme of the Kihon Ippon Kumite relating to Jiyu Kumite. And as an example, I'm using the 5 Jodan Kanazawa sensei's sort of groupings for those. So without further ado, let's get started. Good. So if you remember rightly, the very first one was nice and easy. All it was stepping back, making agyuke 1, then gyatsuki 2. Nice and simple. So that was the first one, and of course we translated that to being able to shift forward and backwards. That was sort of one of the ideas that I sort of guessed that he was after when he did that. The next one is driving out on a 30-degree angle, making ko kutsurachi, so shifting back. Make sure you're off the railroad tracks, and then from there expanding through, pushing off the rear leg, making tate shuto, and then of course expanding back up. And again, that was very analogous to the idea of being able to just shift offline and driving back in, that sort of idea. So what I would like you to do is to warm up, go through those two, make sure they're both there. Hopefully they appeared up in the corner, okay, as we went through, and you can sort of click to those videos easily if you want more explanation. So give those a go, then come back. Excellent. So from here, let's do the third one. The third one now goes to the opposite side. So it's going to step back on a 30-degree angle. You're going to shift into Haizokudachi, making agyuke. So it's a simple step. It's here, cover, and up, just like so. So have the feeling shifting in. Just this idea. So feeling here, cover your body as you shift, use the front arm and up, just like so. Second technique, make yoko geri kiage, pull in, empiuchi into kibadachi. So once again, it's 1, 2, 3, just like so. Nice and relaxed. So what I would like you to do, just go through 1, kick, notice 3. The key thing here is don't hurry, right? As you go through, just don't speed through. So give it a go first, then come back, then we'll break it apart a little bit more. Excellent. So you've given it a go, you've got some idea. So a couple of things that are important. On the step, make sure that you don't shift this foot first, simply push, just expand. So feel footwork here. Make sure that you're not breaking and stepping out this way, right? Making some sort of really cool, funky 70s, wop, 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 this kind of action. Simply feel yourself almost melt away. Feel yourself melt away. At the same time, use this covering arm to make action. Use this covering arm to make action. Opposite hand, of course, will come to the hip to be able to make the block, or it may even come into this position to be able to make the drive up. So for a beginner, right, if you're doing this as a green belt, orange belt, have the feeling of stepping back, making good karate technique. So this classic sort of action. If you're higher in rank, you can start to make it softer and more in line, driving with the elbow to make that sort of almost uppercutty or almost a hooking type feeling for the block rather than the classic sort of risey feeling from the hip. You can bring it across and sort of circle it up. Use the front hand to cover your body again. Remember, this is the block. This is insurance. This is your double insurance. So feel that guiding action as you pull. Here, guide action as you pull. The next piece that's important for basic technique, and this is Kihon Ippon Kumite, feel the fire of the technique, hold this still, and make the action of the kick all through your lower body. Make the action of the kick all through the lower body. The target that at least I used to get kicked a lot from my instructor was square under the armpit. And it sucked. But in reality, floating ribs, right, so forth, you get the idea. So feel this action here. The kick, rear hip fires, then hold. Bring it back, nothing has moved. From here now, don't suddenly go and throw your technique. Take your time. Get your timing right. So when you're here, simply load, then expand in. Simply load, under, over, no matter, right? If you're, generally I find if you're ISKF or JKA, the load will be underneath, driving in. The reason is to keep the shoulder down. If you're from Kanazawa's organization, quite often the load is high, and I actually enjoy the high to low up here because now I can feel that gravity in my body as I drive down into the kibadachi, so I can feel it sort of whole body down into the target. So what I want you to do is practice it again. Practice the good timing, the good hand positioning as you move through. Practice the kick without shifting your arms around. Boom, boom. Practice, then load in. Give that a go, breaking it apart. Excellent. So you've given that a go now. Now from here, start to smooth it out. So have the feeling here of 1, 2, 3. The feeling of just smoothing, 1, 2, 3. So notice that it's still a sum of its parts. Even though the edges, the corners, are no longer completely square, they're now smoothed, I still have all the parts firing in the correct order. And this is critical. Think of hand nidan. How many times have you seen somebody in hand nidan, right, from here, and they go into this sort of yokogiri piece, and they go, and everything's all over the place. You've got to, all the time in karate, just simply break the action down to what you want. Don't be afraid to do that. So then when you go to do the action, everything fits together nicely. So these compound movements, such as this, allow them to occur, because then that will allow you to add in extra movements, but it will also allow, oh, here comes something. Right, it'll allow you to add in extra movements, but it will also allow you to fire the movements in the right order. So really important. Excellent, so give that a go, smooth off the edges. Excellent, okay, so from here now, what does this teach us about free sparring? Well, when you think about the first one, the idea was that I could shift back and drive in. I could shift forward and drive in, right? That was the idea. The second one, techniques coming in, and I'm shifting this time to the open side, clearing the way and driving in. This third one is talking about the idea of stepping and shifting. So it's not a rotation, it's rather the idea here and driving. You could lock that in with the technique, boom, this feeling. You could lock it in with a stiff leg, kikomi, and drive it in. You could lock it in with the techniques we've just used. But it's the idea in this particular case of stepping either to the side or pulling it back to be able to position yourself where you need to be and allowing that piece to occur, to fit together, right? So what we've got is we've got this idea of shifting backwards and forwards. We've got this idea of shifting out on the angle. We've now got the idea of shifting back on the angle. Notice no forward shifting yet. That's coming soon. So feel here this idea of shifting back. Feel the idea of attack comes in, very, very strong attack, sucking them in and shifting, and then doing whatever you need to do to enter back. The other piece as well is that you can also use this to cover, get out, or of course, using it to step and fire out whatever other techniques you want to throw in. So you can start to tie this, just this sort of angle stepping, boom, this angle stepping to where you need and where you want it to go, how it fits together. So have a play with that, have a play just from kamae and allowing it either strictly, whoa, within the technique or different to the technique. It's up to you. Have a play, and with that, have an awesome week, everybody. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Take care, and I'll see you again. Hey, us.